I read a sentence from a book I'm reading, and it said, "We create in service of art, not for what we can get from art." This brings me back to the idea that we grow up on, that we want to monetize our creativity so much so that we want it to become our full-time jobs. I've struggled with this since I finished architecture school because all I wanted to do at that time was travel and do photography full-time for the rest of my life. Then came video and it was the same thing, and then art. The cool thing is that I actually got to travel quite a bit and do photography while I was there, but it always came down to the same thing. Photography became a chore rather than an enjoyment. I had to deal with clients, promoting myself, quoting people, and sometimes not even have enough because I was too new to that place to get those connections. So the lifestyle that I was looking at from the people on social media that I looked up to and was inspired by had a lot more behind the scenes than they were telling us. Back then, one of my greatest inspirations was Chris Burkard, an amazing photographer whom I actually got to meet. He spoke about all this in one of his lectures where he told us a lot about photography and how to deal with clients, how to get more work. And that's when it hit me that even most of the people that we find that have a ton of followers still have to promote their work, find clients, and sell their art. What I'm trying to get at here is that some people frame their life as this amazing lifestyle where their passion is their main source of income, yet the ugly parts are left out in such a way that it kind of looks like money just comes out of nowhere. Even with travel photography, most people think that the lifestyle is super fun all the time, but they also fail to tell us about the uncomfortable hostels, the lost gear, or even just carrying 3 lenses on your backpack and having to walk huge distances. The visa handling, the fees, the tiring airports, and the long traveling hours. Of course, all of this becomes unimportant when you experience the amazing activities and things that happen all over the world. But those are just tiny parts of the whole experience. So social media just gets a very small percentage and it's expanded through many posts. But let's go back to the main point. I can't say I've nailed this down to the T, but from my personal experience, one of the most important things to take into consideration is how you're funding your creativity without hindering the art itself. So I've asked quite a few people about how they're funding this amazing lifestyle, and most of them say kind of the same thing. Oh yeah, I've traveled to these amazing places to do photography, but I actually work remotely on tech. Or yeah, I'm actually doing whatever to fund my whatever it is that you do creatively. And this brings me down to the second quote of that book. There are jobs that demand your time, but little else. You can protect the art you make by choosing an occupation that gives you mental space to formulate and develop your creative vision of the world. So from my experience, when it comes to art or creativity in general, try to overcome the barrier that tells you that you should be monetizing all of your creative endeavors, because it can hinder your creative vision and your motivation to create it. Most of the time on social media, you're not seeing the back end of these creatives. So don't feed into the idea that their lives are perfect just because they're showing that to you. Art can become a problem if you're forcing your creations to become the food on your table. At some point, it will feel more like a chore rather than an enjoyment. And this can lead to burnout. So if you're struggling right now to figure out what to do, just remember that there is absolutely no shame in having a full-time job that puts food on your table while you make your art on the side. You could even potentially set the time apart to produce even more work that you could actually sell, but you won't have the stress on your back that you have to produce consistently in order to survive. End of the day, this could give more space for your creativity and enjoyment of your craft. The only next logical step after getting a full-time job is to have good routines and habits to keep producing art without it feeling like it's left behind. But that we can talk about it on the next videos. So hope that helps and see you in the next one.
Pero Roberto, ¿qué vas a hacer?
Vamos a hacer esta verde. Va a estar interesante ahí como la ve. Está dando rock.
¿Qué nivel es?
Esta es una V6. Y Está dura.
Dura. Vamos, Roberto.
Lo palmé.
Muy cerca.
No sé por qué. Esa ruta yo lo llamo el infierno.
The Green Hill.
Infierno,
¿Alguno de ustedes la ha hecho, no?
No, hasta ahí no he llegado.